It was one of those golden fall afternoons in Singapore, where the tropical heat simmered with a muted intensity, teasing the edges of autumn, but never fully surrendering to it. I stepped out of my little therapy studio, a haven I had carefully nurtured in the quiet corner of Tiong Bahru. The scent of fresh rain mingled with the city's hum, and a soft breeze rustled the frangipani trees lining the street. A long day of guiding others through their emotional labyrinths had left me satisfied but drained. As I adjusted the strap of my worn leather tote, my gaze caught the faint glow of the late afternoon sun, casting a golden hue over everything. I decided I needed something indulgent, a little escape. Coffee. There was a cafe I loved nearby, tucked between pastel shophouses, its entrance framed by trailing ivy. It wasn't the fanciest place, but it felt like stepping into a warm embrace, the kind of spot where time seemed to pause just long enough to let you breathe. As I pushed the glass door open, the comforting aroma of roasted beans and the gentle hum of conversation welcomed me. Inside, the world softened. The wooden tables bore faint scratches that whispered of countless stories shared, while the glow of hanging Edison bulbs added to the cozy charm. I found my favorite seat by the window, the one that gave me the perfect view of the bustling street outside without feeling too exposed. Sliding into the chair, I placed my bag neatly by my feet and pulled out a dog-eared paperback from within. The book's worn edges were like an old friend, familiar and comforting, with stories that never failed to wrap me in their magic. I ordered a latte, savoring the anticipation as I let the faint hiss of the espresso machine and the quiet murmur of patrons wash over me. Moments later, the warm cup arrived, its surface crowned with an intricate swirl of foam. As I took my first sip, my muscles relaxed, and the weight of the day began to lift. I sank further into my chair, the book's pages drawing me into another world, my heart finding solace in its words. Then I heard a voice, warm, deep, and edged with just enough hesitation to make me glance up from my page.
Excuse me, is this seat taken?
I looked up, and there he was, a man, probably about my age, holding a tray with a cappuccino and a small plate of a chocolate croissant. His tousled black hair framed caramel brown eyes that carried a hint of uncertainty, as if he wasn't quite sure he'd made the right move by asking. He was casually dressed in a navy shirt and dark jeans that looked effortlessly stylish, and I noticed the faintest trace of a sheepish smile playing on his lips. "Oh no," I said, gesturing to the empty chair across from me. "Go ahead."
Thanks.
He said, his smile broadening as he placed his tray on the table.
It's packed in here.
I nodded, my eyes drifting back to my book, though I couldn't help but notice the easy way he settled into the seat. The room seemed quieter somehow, as if his presence softened the edges of the bustling cafe. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw him glance at my book. The silence stretched between us, and just as it began to feel a bit awkward, he broke it.
Good book?
He asked, his voice tinged with genuine curiosity. I held it up, showing him the worn cover. It's one of my comfort reads, nothing groundbreaking, just something that feels like an old friend.
Those are the best kind.
He said, his tone warm.
I'm Ray, by the way.
I hesitated for a moment before replying, Joelle. When I reached out to shake his hand, his grip was firm, yet unassuming, his palm slightly calloused in a way that surprised me. I wondered briefly what kind of work made hands like that, though I didn't ask. Not yet. As we spoke, I learned more about him. His work as an audio engineer, his love for indie films and tennis, and his tendency to find solace in the water, swimming away the stress of his days. I shared bits of my life too. My passion for yoga, my sometimes clumsy experiments in cooking, and my less than graceful attempts at dance that brought more laughter than rhythm. There was an ease to our conversation, a rhythm that felt as natural as the warm sunlight filtering through the window. When I finally glanced at my watch, the sky outside had deepened into rich shades of amber and plum. My heart skipped a beat as I realized how much time had passed. I'm going to be late for my yoga class, I said, reaching for my bag. Ray stood too, gathering his tray.
Then I won't keep you. But before you go,
He hesitated, rubbing the back of his neck, his expression suddenly boyish and uncertain.
Would it be weird if I asked for your number? I'd really like to continue this conversation.
I blinked, momentarily caught off guard by his honesty. Then I smiled, pulling a pen from my bag and scribbling my number on a napkin. "Only if you promise to use it," I said, handing it to him. His chuckle was soft but genuine.
I'll do my best not to disappoint.
As I walked away, the strap of my tote swinging gently at my side, I couldn't resist glancing back through the glass window. Ray was still there, the napkin in his hand, looking out at the street with a contemplative smile. And for the first time in a long while, I felt a flutter of something I hadn't dared to name yet. Possibility.